Get to know Dr. Pamela Larde. She's the amazing founder and president of the Academy of Creative Coaching. Dr. Larde and I discuss ways to find and cultivate fulfillment in life.
It's a fantastic day here at the Chandria Show, and I'm most excited about my special guest, Dr. Pamela Larde. Welcome to the Chandria Show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing great on this lovely Sunday afternoon, evening.
Sunday, yes. So let's talk about you. You are the Associate Professor of Qualitative Research and Higher Education at Mercer University, a Fellow in Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Council member for Harvard's Institute of Coaching, and the founder president of the Academy of Creative Coaching. How in the world do you balance life, career, personal responsibility, and self-care? Teach us your way.
Yeah, and there's also a publishing company that I realized we left out. But yes, there is also a publishing. It's a matter of just being very strategic about everything I do. Every moment has its purpose. At noon on certain days, I am supposed to be doing this and that. I just schedule my life out in a way that just and I pace it. I don't do more than 3 major meetings in a day, or maybe really more than 2. I've toned it down. If they're major, I need to give my mind and my attention and my energy to it. So I really take a lot of time to set firm boundaries and scheduling the heck out of my life.
Okay, so you schedule the important stuff, the meetings, the businesses, and all of that. It sounds like you also schedule your self-care, your quality time, your family time, and all of that as well, right?
Absolutely. It has been crucial for COVID survival. I have made it a point to, because I usually travel. My cousin and I had made a commitment. We're traveling once a month. And with COVID, that's been kind of challenging. So I have gotten really creative about it. I mean, just this past week, I did an Airbnb by myself in Hilton Head just to write, to get caught up. I was on a lake. I got to sit and I scheduled that thing in. And I'm already looking at where am I going in February, because I just need to replenish, and I am doing the whole staying at home thing. I mean, I have been fierce about that. So I need to make sure that I have ways to just kind of release as well.
Fantastic. I mean, we can all glean from that. So self-care is important, and it's equally as important as your responsibility as well. And that's what I took from that. Like, make sure
yes.
you take care of yourself. So how does the Academy of Creative Coaching serve in the marketplace? What's your company's mission?
I'm sorry, say that part again.
What's your company's mission?
Okay, well, really, we are a coach training company, and what we do is we train and prepare coaches to, we certify them, and we train and prepare them to coach other people in different industries. Our mission is to empower coaches for creative life change. And so what we want to do, and formerly it was empowering coaches to empower the world. So we still kind of are grounded in that idea as well, because our trainees come from all over the world. And we want to make sure that they are equipped with everything they need, from understanding themselves and being able to make holistic change within themselves, but also being able to do that with anybody that they're working with. So we are right now the only Black female-owned, fully accredited coaching school in the world. And I take great pride in that. Not that I always want to be, because I want people to come in after me as well. And there are other women-owned coaching, Black women-owned coaching schools. There's probably 2. And right now we're the only one that's fully accredited. And we are really serious about integrating in our curriculum concepts about identity and what that means and what representation means in different coaching relationships. So we really try to integrate the whole person in the work that we do.
I love that. And I love that. I mean, like you say, I'm not trying to be out here by myself, but I love that, when you're the first person to do something, you set the pathway so that you can invite others to come behind you. So it's very inspirational. I really. So COVID-19 has affected the mental state of many people all over the world. In your opinion, how does a person know whether they are unfulfilled or just reeling from the effects of the pandemic?
That's a really good question. I think so. Self-awareness, it always comes back to self-awareness for me, and, just checking in on yourself, having people who can be a mirror for you. Are you okay? Are you having a bad day, or are you actually spiraling? And when you're spiraling, that tends to last a little bit longer than the moment. It's kind of like the difference between happiness and joy. Happiness is based on what's happening. Joy is something that you have internal that you can maintain despite what's going on. Well, the opposite is also true. It's like the difference between feeling momentarily sad or being actually depressed. Momentarily sad is just like the opposite of happiness. It's about what's going on in the moment. Depression is something that persists. And what the professionals say is that if you are experiencing this for at least 2 weeks or more, it's time to really pay attention and to do something about it.
Listening to your body, being aware, you said self-awareness in terms of your feelings, being transparent, I hear that too.
That's huge.
Honest with yourself about how you're feeling and why that is.
There's no need to fake it.
Seriously, do not fake it. Let's talk about, in the spirit of resiliency and triumph, what are some tips to help us all feel more fulfilled in life? For the go-getters in the room who are, not letting a pandemic stop them from doing anything, who may feel like this is the time, I've got the downtime, I've got the, time at home to create. I've had the time. I know people have written books during quarantine, and people have done some amazing things. I myself launched a production company in quarantine. So, for the go-getters that are watching, what are some tips to help us feel more fulfilled? While we're charged, you don't want to, run into burnout either.
Yeah. Well, so I treat it the same as heartbreak. And I know that's kind of weird, but the first book that I wrote is called Letters to the Brokenhearted. And I gave 4 particular goals that we need to be focused on while we're trying to get over heartbreak. And I don't really see that much different as while we're trying to get through COVID. And so one is your professional goal. So like you started a production company. That is a fantastic production goal to have strove for, to achieve, right? And so what is it that you can do to better position yourself professionally or to find more fulfillment in the professional thing that you do? Number 2 is a spiritual goal. What is it that you can do to enhance your spiritual grounding and foundation? Because what spirituality does for us is helps us see the larger picture in things. It helps us understand that this is just momentary. There's a greater purpose in this. And when we can do that, it gives us the energy that we need to keep moving forward. And then there's a creative goal. So some kind of goal that, somehow, pulls in your creative gifts. And some people will say, well, I'm not creative. We are born creative beings. So while we may not be writers or artists, I can't draw for the life of me. But there's
not my ministry.
Yeah, it's not my ministry. But you know what I did creatively? I'm a writer and I've done a lot of that. But the creative outlet that I did was decorating my home. And just adding, Amazon became my best friend, but just different things that you can make or that you can add or create to your home to even make that the kind of space that you want to be in. So that's the creative goal. And then the last one is a goal of fun or play. What can you do to just enjoy life? One of the things that we did is I added a badminton net in the backyard, and we got tennis rackets, and and right now it's just me and my daughter in the house, but we figured out how we're gonna make sure we have our fun, how we keep fun in our lives, and that's part of why I'll go off somewhere that I feel is safe enough for me to engage in my fun by myself, or with a friend who might have quarantined, but I need to make sure I have those kinds of opportunities and outlets for fun in my life. So it was, can I say it again? It was a professional goal, it was a spiritual goal, it was a creative goal, and it was a fun goal.
I like that. And I like that you set all of those. You'll have yourself in a great balanced place where you're still productive, you're still reaching goals professionally, but you're also taking time for self-care, family time, and just sometimes just time to do nothing.
Yes,
live for those moments where it's like, I'm not doing anything.
That's been my day today. It's been nice.
Today was a good day to do it. Question. So how do you encourage women to continue to rise above within male-dominated industries? This
Yeah, that's
a lot of male-dominated industries in 2021. Like that's still a thing. So
the one that I'm in for coaching is most certainly a male-dominated industry, and in fact, there are very few. I talk about Black women owners. There are very few women owners of coach training schools, which basically means that the face of coaching are men, and more specifically, are white men. And it doesn't, it's not in and of itself, ooh, that's a problem. But what it means is that there's just less representation across the board. And it means that our voices aren't coming through. So one of the things that, that I have most certainly faced challenges in, being a woman and pushing through, putting forth proposals and so forth, and kind of being overlooked through the process. And what I would say is just don't stop. Don't stop. Just keep pushing, because what you have and what you bring to the table is absolutely needed in the world. I actually just recently, and I don't do this often because this is not a self-care thing, but I got in a social media debate with a gentleman who couldn't understand, why do we always overemphasize women leaders? Like, a leader is a leader. What difference does it make if it's a woman or not? And what I say, and what I said in that conversation, was that we bring experiences to the table that a man never could bring to the table. We bring perspectives and points of view to the table. It doesn't mean we're better. It just means that it's different and it's needed. And so we need to own that. We need to own the value that we bring to the table. And I can't emphasize enough, it's that consistency. Just keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. And that's how you get through. I mean, if we look at a lot of the memes that have been going around has been saying, ladies, put the shoes on because there's glass everywhere, because Kamala just broke that glass ceiling as the first Black Asian woman vice president. And so there's no part of the work that she did that said, I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna sit back. There's nothing about Kamala and her career that has said she's gonna sit back. Now, might she have had moments at home where she's like, this is just, I'm sick of this? I'm sure. But that only makes us stronger. It only makes us better. And it only makes us identify better with the people that we're leading and the people that we're serving.
Absolutely. So on the flip side, then how would you encourage women of color to rise above and create opportunities for themselves in any career? Because just like, you just said you're in a male-dominated industry, there fewer women leaders, women coaches, and then now you're talking about women coaches of color. So yeah, in any industry, I'd love to encourage women of color to rise above and create opportunities for themselves. In what way can you encourage them?
Wow. I would say, look at Stacey Abrams. It's just incredible to me. And so now we're talking about industry of politics in that sense, but it's incredible to me that she ran the race for governor in Georgia, did not win. It was evident that there were voting issues, and she didn't stop, and she knew that her particular voice, her particular experience, her particular lineage had much to say and much to contribute to this whole voting fraud, whatever we're going to call it. And so she used her legacy and her experience and all of that to make a difference. In her book, she talks a lot about her parents and her grandparents and what they went through in order to just simply vote, and the anxiety they felt around the idea of voting. And so as Black women, I think we need to draw upon the history and what it is that we are here for, because we have so much to contribute, and we are only just getting started. We didn't get to get off the blocks until much later after everyone else. So we are, on the verge of being in our absolute prime. And so I think we need to remember that and to just, and I'll just say again, to just keep pushing, don't stop, but also find love and support and networking amongst ourselves, support ourselves, love each other. And that's where we find each other's strength.
We are honing our legacies. We are building our pathways. And we are, looking forward to the future. And whether it's politics or business or coaching or what have you, I always encourage, all women, but most importantly to me, women of color to create lanes, and then, go back and bring your sister with you to
key.
Keep it going, plant the seed. So I am so grateful that you have been my special guest today. It's been a true pleasure. If anyone is interested in connecting with you, what's the best way to do so?
So I am Empowered Writer on pretty much all the social media outlets. That's probably the easiest way because I'm a writer first. And then you can also go to ACC Coaches, which is the Academy of Creative Coaching Instagram page, or Tandem Light Press, which is our publishing page if anybody's interested in publishing.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations. I wish you a very prosperous new year full of self-care, creativity, resilience.
Thank you.